What is good, guys and girls? It's your boy, this dude here, and today we got we might as well try to make it 10. We got 10 reptiles that look like dragons. I don't know where this title came from. Anyways, let's go. Coming in first on the list of animals that look like dragons, we got red-eye crocodile skinks. We got white-eye crocodile skinks too. We got both of them. And either one of them, both of them look like little dragons. These animals come from New Guinea, a nocturnal species. I breed both of them. Although they are nocturnal, I still recommend UV. It could never hurt, right? So these animals like it a little bit cooler, a little on the cooler side in the 70s. You want to maintain 70s. Anything a little bit higher than that, like the 80s, 85, anything like that, you're going to be running into a danger zone with these animals. So keep them in the 70s. Like I said, they like it a little bit cooler. They're not going to be prolific breeders per se. It's going to take a little bit of time. They're rewarding nonetheless. These animals are absolutely amazing, and I just got my animals to tongue feed. I want to be doing videos on that soon. Crocodile skinks are absolutely amazing. A couple years ago, it was a little bit harder to find them, but now there are a lot of people working with them. You can find them captive bred for a pretty good price. Their enclosures, depending on how you want to go, I have a lot of mine in paludariums. This is soon to change, but you want to keep the humidity levels pretty high. These animals like it humid, if not just on water at all points in time. A lot of mine just sleep on the water. But these animals, like I said, look literally like little dragons. They're absolutely beautiful, amazing animals. I'm glad I got into keeping and breeding these animals, and I would recommend them for almost anybody. If you're hands off and you would rather just build nice, lush environments that you could just look at, then I think this is a good animal for you. But like I said, I got mine coming to the front and tongue feeding now, so yeah. And these animals are not too hard to feed at all. In fact, a lot of them would just take mealworms out of a small dish and be okay. But you do want to vary the diet. We've got them on crickets, small crickets, all types of different crickets. Silkworms, dubias, they'll eat superworms, and these animals love earthworms. So you want to vary the diet up a little bit. Like I said, this isn't a care guide, just wanted to talk about these dope animals. Moving along. Coming in next on the list of dope things that exist would be the armadillo girdled lizard. Now this would be a dragon of a different biome, more desert-esque. I wanted to work with these animals for a long time. Years ago when I was looking for them, I could not find them. Now I can. So that may change here soon. Anyways, these animals are absolutely adorable. And they like to ball up in these cool little, much like the armadillos, right? Which is kind of strange, also kind of cool. They have these really strong, hard plates on their back, and it helps them defend themselves. So it makes sense. Now this is a relatively, I'm not gonna say small, we're gonna say medium-sized lizard, maxing out about 8 to 10 inches, right? So a nice 20 to 30 gallon for a single one. I would always go bigger. If you can, go bigger. But 20 gallons I think would work for a single one. But these animals are absolutely adorable, a good project to get into. Nice looking, beautiful animals that look like little dragons. I think they're absolutely amazing. Moving along. Coming in next on the list of things you don't want to miss. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyways, it's the Cayman lizard, another animal I am familiar with. I keep them. My Cayman lizard is almost 3 years old or something like that. I have to check the records. I had him since he was about 7 or 8 weeks. He's doing amazing. We're getting a female for him soon. Anyways, these animals are absolutely beautiful, rocking reds and oranges, sometimes yellow undertones with bright blues and greens. These animals have every color you can imagine. Adorable. And they act like dogs. At least mine does. Like tegus almost, right? When I go over there, I could go to this enclosure right now. He comes to the front to see what I'm doing. He wants to know. He wants to come hang out, get out of his enclosure, and chill with me. I think that is absolutely amazing. These animals are super dope. I haven't tried my hand at breeding them yet, but their setup is kind of unique. We've got a whole 100-gallon pond for him. He's got turtles and fish that live with him. He's got other geckos that live with him. He lives in an 8-foot enclosure. 8x4, and it's only gonna get bigger. So, but these animals are absolutely amazing. Like I said, if you're looking for something that is more like a puppy dog that can be puppy dog tame, Cayman Lizard is for you. These animals are they're just the greatest. I'll just open the enclosure and just let them hang out. Walk out into the house, do what you want to do, right? The only thing you have to worry about is their claws. Their claws are relatively sharp. They're tree climbers, so keep that in mind. I don't file mine, I just let them do what they do. Cayman lizards, just amazing animals. Their diet is a little bit different than your normal species that we keep in captivity. Normally we're either feeding like chicks or quails or mice, right? Or we're feeding insects. These animals like to eat snails. They have a really strange diet. I have mine eating like chopped vegetables and also fruit. Very strange diet when it really comes down to it, but it's worth it. And you can see in the animals like muscle tone and definition that this diet actually does something. So, but yeah, their diet is a little bit strange, a little bit different than the other ones. Not too hard to keep as long as you can get them apple snails regularly. I keep frozen apple snails. Yeah, it's not too hard, but just keep that in mind. Coming in next on the list, we got the Komodo Dragon. Now, when I think dragon, this is the closest representation to what my brain comes up with on this planet, right? The Komodo Dragons, they're endemic to a couple islands around Indonesia, Komodo. There's a couple of them, like 3 or 4 islands that they live on. Very small habitat range, rather. But these are the biggest lizards we have, other than crocodiles, alligators, things like that, right? The biggest land lizards, right? These dudes are absolutely amazing. I'm not gonna tell you how to keep them. I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you how to get them. I don't know. They don't do that. But when it comes to the animals, they just look like dragons. This is it. You slap a pair of wings on these things and everybody's in trouble. Now this is a super big lizard, getting anywhere from 120 to 200 pounds, maxing out, 7-8 feet, something like that. They run 15 miles per hour or something like this. This is a fast, strong, big, aggressive lizard. Absolutely beautiful though. Komodo dragons. Coming in next on the list, we got the Satanic leaf-tailed gecko. Now this animal looks like a cool little dragon, rather. One of those that would blend into the forest perfectly, no matter how big it was. If it was this big or this big, I think this animal literally could just blend in almost anywhere in the forest. I could just imagine this animal 5-6 feet long, hanging out on a branch, literally looking like a tree. Like this looks like a dragon you would find in the jungle when I think about it. Because once again, I don't know what dragons would be, where they would be, how they would be, anything like that. But when I think about it, this looks like one of the dragons that would hang out in the forest its entire life. Just by how they look, these animals mimic leaves perfectly. Absolutely adorable. You can find this animal in captivity, readily available. A lot of people are working with it, but this is a very difficult animal to get into, not to get into, but to breed and house and take care of. Expert level. Not gonna sit here and say that you can't do it, because I know a lot of you that are watching are a lot better than I am. So just know that it takes a little bit of work with these animals. They're not too expensive. Their habitats are usually a little bit smaller, although you could go bigger. I probably would go bigger. But yeah, just an absolutely beautiful animal that you can get working with relatively soon. And leaf-tailed geckos come in a whole wide variety. Like there's many different types of leaf-tailed geckos, but as far as the ones that look like dragons, I think it's the Satanic leaf-tailed gecko. Hands down, that animal just has it, right? Just the way their eyes look, the way their heads are shaped. I could imagine this animal just blown up 1,000 times, looking like a huge tree camouflaged on a mountainside or something. These animals are absolutely amazing. Now coming up next on this list, we got the Frill Dragon, an animal I'm really excited to start working with. I don't have any now, but I will at some point. I've run into a space issue. Anyways, these animals are absolutely amazing. Also, these are the animals you see that usually hop up on 2 feet and run around. They got the big collar that just flares out, kind of like that dinosaur in Jurassic Park. I think that's where the idea came from. Anyways, these animals are super dope, really friendly with a little bit of work, right? A lot of times in captivity, you won't even see them frill up like that because they get used to the people that they're working around, or the people that are working with them and feeding them and things like that. This animal is very dragon-esque. Once again, I see this animal in more of like an arid type area, kind of just doing its thing. Now, frill dragons are endemic to Australia, I think, but we do have a lot of people working with them in captivity, so they're readily available. You can get males and females now, babies, subadults, adults, captive bred, so you don't have to worry about parasites and anything like that. But yeah, I think it would be a really cool project to get into, and these animals are just absolutely amazing. Once again, like I said, looking like a just very different type of dragon. I love it. Now coming up next, we got the Borneo Earless Monitor, and I probably don't have pictures or video of this animal, and I apologize. If I can find one, I'm just gonna leave it up while I talk. I see this animal as a dragon that lives in the water all the time, only coming out maybe just to eat or no, I don't know. But this animal is very dragon-esque, in not only in like the shape of its head, but just the way it looks, the way its scales look. I think these animals are amazing. I will be working with them in the future. I don't have any hits on them right now or anything. Like I said, they're still kind of rare, or relatively rare in the hobby, but this is another animal that just looks much like a dragon. Very beautiful animals. They look real chill too, like real docile. Like they don't have an aggressive bone in their body. I don't know what their diet's like or anything like that, right? Let's do some research. Alright, so these animals are endemic to Asia and Borneo. They are the only species in their family. They might literally be dragons, guys. Yeah, I'm not going to get into their care. Once again, I only did a little bit of research, but once again, this is another beautiful animal that's being worked with in captivity that looks just like a dragon. Semi-aquatic little dragons. You can't get no better than that. Now, we don't know too much about this animal, but they're saying their lifespan is anywhere from like 7 to 9 years, and I'm pretty sure that when we start working with these animals in captivity and we learn more about them, we're gonna be able to kind of boost that lifespan or boost that. I'm pretty sure these animals will live a lot longer in captivity, as you see with a lot of the reptiles we work with. That seems to be the case. Now, next on the list, we got beaded lizards, or Gila monsters, or they're not the same. These are two different lizards. They look similar though, right? And they look like, these things look absolutely amazing, boasting oranges and pinks and black. They're absolutely adorable. This is an animal I want to work with way in the future. We're gonna give this some time, but they look like little dragons also. I would imagine these dragons are the ones that live next to like the mountains and things like that. They kind of blend in well there. Very strong, powerful jaws. They have very strong, powerful bodies too. This is an animal that is very sturdy from head to toe. Beautiful, boasting very bright colors. There's a lot of people working with them in captivity. There's a lot of people, both beaded lizards and Gila monsters. And like I said, this is an animal I would love to work with in the future. With a little bit of work, you tame them down, they become cool. They're just amazing, beautiful animals. I don't know about like how easy they are to breed, what their diet is like, or anything like that. But this is another animal that looks like a dragon, and I'm thinking like Monster Hunter, different biomes. You know what I mean? Like these dragons do different things. They have different characteristics. Some of them might have wings. Some of them might not. Right? Just when I think about the different dragons, this one definitely pops up in my mind. Not only for its colors and the way the patterns work, just for how it's powerful from head to toe. This is a very strong, sturdy animal. Absolutely beautiful. And like I said, a lot of people are working with them in captivity. Who knows, you might be working with them. So, but that just an amazing animal all around. Another beautiful dragon type lizard. Coming in next on the list, you guys, we got the flying lizard, or the gliding lizard. These animals are found in the Philippines, Asia, India, Borneo, and it makes sense because these lizards literally have wings. Anytime they run into a threat, they jump, spread their wings, and glide as far away from their threat as they possibly can get. I think this is absolutely amazing. We don't see this a lot at all. We in fact have a snake that does the same thing, but it doesn't have gliders like the flying lizard does. These things, like I said, when you see how their wings work, they have literal sets of wings. The closest thing to dragons we're gonna get. And I love them. Absolutely adorable. I don't know if anybody's working with them in captivity or not, but I don't know how you replicate their habitat. You would need a really big, I would say, outdoor enclosure to let these animals really live the lives that they need, right? Well, I guess they wouldn't have threats in captivity, so there wouldn't be no need to fly away. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe people are working with them. Let's see. Turns out these animals are readily available. A lot of people working with them. Didn't know that. I want to see some of these enclosures, see how these people got these things set up. Are these animals flying in captivity? That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, these animals are really dope. Like I said, they cover a wide range, and it makes sense. They have a wide distribution as far as their habitat, and I'm pretty sure their care isn't too difficult. This would be a nice little project to get into. Just another really dope lizard that looks just like a dragon and acts like it, behaves like one too. And coming in next on the list, guys, is the Sfin Dragon, another reptile endemic to the Philippines. I was gonna start working with these animals. I was actually at the line to choose between the Cayman lizards and the Sfin Dragons, and I chose Cayman lizards because I could cohab my Cayman lizards with everything, and I cannot cohab the Sfin Dragons with literally everything. So that's a project we're gonna get into later, but this is another animal that when I think dragons, I think this is a perfect representation. One that lives on land but also does not have a problem in the water. They have these cool mohawks that run. Now the smaller ones don't have the big mohawks, but as they get older, they start to develop these really big fins on their back, right? And it helps them maneuver. And I don't know what it helps them with actually. Now this animal has similar care to the Cayman lizard, right? You're gonna want a large water area, a lot of climbing features, big hides, just a lot of ground, right? In fact, I've seen Sfin Dragons and Cayman lizards cohab together, and it works perfectly fine because their care is almost identical. Their diets are totally different though, and this is why I could not cohab my Sfins with anything else other than the Cayman lizard, because I have smaller geckos and stuff that I breed in the Cayman lizard enclosure. The Sfins I don't think are gonna be okay with that. In fact, I think they would probably eat anything smaller than them in that regard, right? So I'm not exactly sure. I wasn't taking the chance. They're gonna get their own enclosure. But these animals are absolutely amazing. Once again, like I said, a semi-aquatic animal that also likes to climb. When I think dragons, this is another one that just fits the build. It looks just like, especially the adult Sfin dragons after they get their big fins that grow in. You see them in water, how they move. I can't wait to start working with them. And they're not too expensive. Readily available, captive bred. I can get them right now. Sfin Dragons. And that was the list, guys. We had 10 reptiles that look like dragons. I appreciate you coming out. I know you could have been anywhere else on the planet, but you decided to be here with your boy. I appreciate it. It means a lot. Anyways, I'm your boy Smith. This is All Things Living. I'm out.